Welcome to the latest Motley Fool Scoreboard. I'm on in Chalk of Lou, and we've got longtime fools Toby, Bordelon, and Lou Whiteman giving a 1 to 10 rating to the clear winner of the streaming wars. It's Netflix, ticker symbol NFLX. Don't worry, Disney still owns the Clone Wars, I guess. But we'll go to the business, including factors like industry and competition. So we will talk about Disney, I'm sure. A 10 is invincible. A 1 is hopeless. Lou's given Netflix a 9 and Toby's given an 8. Lou, why so high?
You said it. It's the clear winner in the streaming wars. I mean, this is just a best of breed business. And the thing that really stands out to me is we're still in the early days of seeing, what advertising will do to the economics of this business. They are yet to turn on that ad tier in most of the world. Even where they have it, they aren't really using ads to fuel revenue. It's rare to find a company so established with such a great head start and yet still has such clear potential up ahead. Nothing is invincible, but gosh, we're close here. So this is a rare 9 for me.
Yeah, I went with 8 for many of the same reasons. Other companies are trying to unseat Netflix as number one. No one's been able to do it yet. You look at the number of subscribers, and what's clear is that everyone who had a streaming subscription is saying, yeah, I get Netflix, and after that, I'll figure out if I want to add any more services. So clearly the leader here. A little less optimistic than Lou, just because there's still a lot of players in the industry, and some of them aren't too concerned about, profits. So maybe there's a little bit of some resistance against Netflix potential there, but great company.
Let's move on to management. A 10 is Warren Buffett. A 1 is Homer Simpson. Once again, Lou's given a 9 and Toby's given an 8. We'll start with Toby this time.
Yeah, give the team props for the great job they've done here. They seem to know what viewers want, and they deliver that. The international expansion has gone very well. They were successful in the password sharing rollout, it looks like, in a way that increased revenue without irritating their subscribers too terribly much. And that advertising rollout Lou talked about. It's still early, but it looks like that's going to be a success here too. I struggle to give them more than an 8 just because they have had some missteps recently, but very, very well on track and a great team in place, clearly.
So here's why I didn't struggle to get more than 8. Just the history here. And how many times Reed Hastings faced a real inflection point and got it right. Quickster, the shift to streaming, even Roku, what they did there. I know Hastings is now upstairs, but he's still very involved, and his replacements, Greg Peters and Ted Sarantos, they continue to show the nimbleness with ads and adjusting to production trends. Yeah, I know past performance is not necessarily an indication of future success, but everything Toby said, so much going on, and just this ability of this company to see the future and pivot appropriately. I'm in awe of this management team.
Also, a shout out to Bella Baharia, the chief content officer, because Netflix's content, that's the thing that just wows me, right? Making Tom Brady funny with a roast. The live sports, like Mike Tyson versus Logan Paul, who isn't going to be watching that? Just all the different series, having Bridgerton, as well as just Adam Sandler films and what have you, Stranger Things, just the whole gamut for anything you'd want. Just really masterful. Let's move on to financials before I gush some more. 10 is a fortress. A 1 is yikes. Both of you give them a 7. We'll start with Lou.
Fools, I wasn't really listening, but did Anna just say that Adam Sandler was going to be on Bridgerton? Because that would be great to see, wouldn't it? Anyway.
Crossover potential.
There you go. I'm just saying. Call me, guys. So a 7 here. Back to the financials. They turned on that profitability spigot a few years ago. It may have crimped growth a bit, but it put the company on solid financial footings. Netflix has grown up. They have $18 billion in debt, yeah, but they got $9 billion in cash and plenty of ways to service it. Maybe it is no longer going to be that wow performer it was in the early days, just laws of big numbers, but it's just such a solid, mature business with such potential that, yeah, I'm at a 7 and probably more optimistic than that.
Yeah, 7 for me too. This has been the weak spot in Netflix for so long, but it is much better than it is. They've been focusing on those profits. That's paid off. The company's profitable. They're cash flow positive. It can fund all the growth it wants from internally generated cash flow right now. It's hard to find fault with where the financials are at. The one thing you might find fault with is the debt. It's still quite high, but manageable. Interest expense less than 2% of revenue. So no super concerns with that right now.
Toby, let's talk valuation. How well will Netflix stock do over the next 5 years, and how safe is it? 10 is a sure thing, 1 is a lottery ticket.
On returns, I'm going 10 to 15%. Market matcher, perhaps a little bit better than that. Don't expect huge growth from here. Management is telling us next year is going to be an expansion year or an investment year, not a growth and margin year, right? So they're going to be spending a lot of money next year. That's what they're telling us. The industry is also quite competitive, which is why I gave it a 7 on safety. There are some deep-pocketed competitors, but we've seen recently that if anyone wants to compete with Netflix on price, they're going to have to do that by taking a loss. So there's a little bit, it's hard for people to come in and compete for sure. Netflix makes money and throws off cash. They can fend off some competitors.
So I ended up at a 15 plus, probably not too much plus for some of the reasons Toby said, but I do think it beats the market from here. It feels like, as I said before, it feels like that the days of maybe they can't grow 100% each year anymore. They're just too big for that. But if you look at ads coming online, you look at international, just still all they have to do there. I do think for the next 5 years, this is a solid market beater. Maybe I'm less optimistic for years 6 through 10, but they're going to have to sell me on that. But I really do think that, 15 to 20 could happen pretty reasonably over the next 5 years.
A quick self-correction. I said Logan Paul earlier was fighting Mike Tyson. It's his brother Jake Paul. The kids would kill me. Either way, they're drinking
save
prime.
you a lot of letters from the Paul family. That's smart.
That's right. Or worse, a fight. Because I can tell you who'd win that one. Let's go to top it. Toby, is there a company in Netflix's space you like more?
On pure streaming, definitely not. But I think I do like Disney better from a broader entertainment perspective because they're more diversified and they have more ways to monetize a single piece of content. Though I think they need to pick up their game a little bit, certainly in streaming, to continue to give Netflix a run for their money.
Look, we've said it the entire show. There is only one Netflix in streaming. I do see the promise in these other streamers, and I see maybe some of them will get to where Netflix is. But until they start showing the mature financial performance that Netflix does, there is only one Netflix, and that's the stock to buy in the streaming world.
Thanks to both Lou and to Toby. They've given Netflix an overall score of 8.0 out of 10, which means I have to buy it if I didn't own it already, and I do. I should have bought it a decade or two earlier than I did, but I finally did buy Netflix stock when it dipped in 2022. Look out for a new scoreboard every market day at 7 p.m. Eastern. Next up is Chipotle. Till then, Fool on.